Don't forget to subscribe!
Hi everyone! Welcome back to a new Ren and Stimpy 2021 Revival/Reboot prediction video. My name is Natalie the Lifelight, and this is my partner, Nico Robin.
Hi everyone, my name is Nico, and I am a member of the Straw Hat Pirates. In today's video, we will talk about why John Kay was the first Viacom CBS employee to be fired of the delayed Stimpy's being impossible to work with, and the infamous Man's Best Friend episode before Chris Savino, the creator of The Loud House, and Dan Schneider, the creator of All That, The Amanda Show, Keenan and Kel, Drake and Josh, etc. Savino got his own video by that kid Douglas, so be sure to check it out. And someone will hopefully make his or her own Dan Schneider video on Sunday. Also, when Gabe was on Twitter, he found out that the creative director of Ren and Stimpy, Bob Camp, will not be involved. Even so, the article on Cartoon Brew said it will bring in old members that doesn't exclude him out of the realm of possibility.
And also, Vincent Waller, aka the creative director of SpongeBob SquarePants, will also not be involved due to him working on Mr. SquarePants' spin-off Camp Coral. But the spin-off was against Steven Hillenburg's wishes. He did not want a spin-off, and he wanted SpongeBob to end after the movie. But what did Nickelodeon do? Disrespected him and waited for him to die. And we all feel sorry for Mr. Hillenburg's death, so please pay respect to him. That's right, Donkey Kong. Now we'll talk about why John Kay was fired. Ren and Stimpy made its premiere on August 11th, 1991, alongside Doug and Rugrats. Spunko continued to produce the show for the next 2 years while encountering issues with Nickelodeon standards and practices, and the show was known for its lack of early merchandising. According to one of the staff members, the initial lack of merchandise was the unique and radical thing about the Ren and Stimpy show, as no toy company planned ahead for any merchandise for the show, and Nickelodeon did not want to use the over-exploitive merchandising. Well, Craig Falusi described his early period with Nickelodeon as being simple, as he got along with Vanessa Coffey, the sole executive of the program. When another executive was added, they wanted to alter or discard some of the Ren and Stimpy episodes. But Craig Falusi says the episodes stayed intact, and since he did a trade with Coffey, he would have some really crazy episodes in exchange for some heartwarming episodes. And he also said that the program was the safest project he ever worked on, while explaining the meaning of safe, as spend a third of what they spend now per picture, hire proven creative talent, and let them explain. He estimated Spunko's run of Ren and Stimpy cost around $6 million to produce. However, the relationship between Craig Falusi and Nickelodeon deteriorated to the point where he would communicate with Nickelodeon only through his lawyer. News outlets and several of the series staff ascribed the tension to episodes not being delivered in a timely manner. According to author Andy Mangels, writing for Wizard Magazine, he commented that Craig Falusi's lax treatment of deadlines pissed off not only the networks, but his loyal viewers as well. And however, some of the delays were attributed to Nickelodeon's prolonged approval process and withdrawal of approval from scenes in episodes that had been previously approved. Another point of contention was the direction of the series, and Craig Falusi cites the episode Man's Best Friend as the primary reason for his dismissal. And the character George Liquor is depicted in the episode as an abusive father figure, and Nickelodeon did not want the show to be so frightening and dramatic. And because of it, Nickelodeon terminated Craig Falusi's contract in late September 1992 and offered him the position of consultant for Ren and Stimpy, but he refused to sell out because of it. Also, by the time John Kay was accused, Nickelodeon removed his portrait on the Creators Hall of Fame in their animation studio in Burbank. The same thing was done with Chris Savino and Dan Schneider.
And also, on August 2018, all original Ren and Stimpy episodes were removed off the digital platforms, being iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Video, even though it came back, and the PlayStation Store and the Microsoft Store. Not to mention that Natalie actually downloaded a couple of Ren and Stimpy episodes on her iPod Touch.
In addition, there was also a planned short of Ren and Stimpy that was going to premiere with the third SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, but it can be seen on the infamous Cans with Labels DVD. From what we can all understand, Viacom CBS now owns the rights to Ren and Stimpy. And also, Billy West is expected to return as the duo. Also, former Vice President of Nickelodeon Animation Studios, Vanessa Coffey and Mary Harrington, are going to be the executive producers for the revival. Also, I should point out that during the show's development, Tom Kenny, aka SpongeBob and Dog, was going to be Red Hood but was let go due to sounding way too weird.
Also, guys and girls, we will all figure out why Ren and Stimpy ended in 1996, the same year another Nicktoon superstar, Rocko's Modern Life, ended, which was in the era of Super Mario 64 during the game's animation Stimpy the Milkman post John K. And now it's time to talk about the show's cancellation. As we stated earlier, Crick Falusi's contract with Nickelodeon was terminated in September 1992 and offered him the position of consultant for Ren and Stimpy, but he refused to sell out. The network moved production from Spunko to its newly founded animation studio, Games Animation, which later became Nickelodeon Animation Studio, and Bob Camp replaced Crick Falusi as director, while Billy West, having refused Crick Falusi's request to leave alongside him, voiced Ren in addition to Stimpy. Fans and critics felt that this was a turning point in the show, with the new episodes being a considerable step down from no standard of those that preceded them, and Ted Drozdowski, the resident critic of the Boston Phoenix, stated that the bloom faded on Ren and Stimpy. And animation historian Michael Barrier writes that while the creators of the game's episodes used cruel jokes that were similar to those used by Crick Falusi, they did not find the material particularly funny, and they were merely doing what was very expected.
And 2 years later, the series ended its original run on December 16, 1995 with a Scooter for Yakmas. Although one episode from the final season, Sammy and Nate / The Last Temptation, remained unaired. And almost a year later, the episode aired on Nickelodeon's sister network, MTV, on October 20th, 1996. Now let's take a look at the positive responses and backlashes on Twitter. Let's first get started on the backlashes. We have this Twitter post by Gabe Wambala saying, Ren and Stimpy revival not to be failed. And he replied to Katie Rice saying, are you mad about this? And he asked, are you with Topographic Fish on this? And this is when Katie responded. She said, I am with Robin. I think JK is the most dangerous when in the spotlight, and the reboot shines the light back on him, even if not intended. Speaking of which, Topographic Fish, aka Robin Bird, said in this thread, I am 1,000,000% against the Ren and Stimpy reboot. It's tone deaf and insulting to John K's victims and gives a known abuser a huge exposure. I know he is not directly involved, but that does not change how this will turn a bone to this monster all over again. She even replied to a Twitter user named Jeremy Foscaldo, saying, well said. There are so many problems with this reboot. The victims, the mediocrity, the brightness from its racist creator, and the staleness. And whoever works on this will have some rough ambivalence to deal with. Some of the Twitter users actually were sometimes thinking that the backlash behind the reboot being fascinating. As Crimson Mayhem says, the backlash behind the Ren and Stimpy reboot is seemingly fascinating. The anger didn't come from fans complaining from the announcement. This was one of the very few times where creators, artists, and writers within the animation industry took a stand and put their foot down. However, some Twitter users took it too far.
For example, Chase's entire woke radical Pritchard said, "The bombshell line has been uttered. I will quote it verbatim." And John K said, "Well, she was too young, I admit that. It was a bad decision, but it was so convincing." And the thread goes on, and it says it all. However, there were some fans who were confused. For example, Squidward 3571639 asked Vincent Waller 72. He says, "For real?" And he replied, "It is the plan. I have yet to see any of the development." Speaking of Vincent Waller, he is actually overwhelmed by his current work. And according to Square Cheese, he asked, "Hi, can I ask you, are you involved in a new Ren and Stimpy reboot? Thanks for reading." And he replied, "My plate is brimming over with busy on SpongeBob. I haven't been involved with the production." And Square Cheese responded, "Thank you for responding. It's so cool that you can actually talk to people behind cartoons through the social media nowadays. Thanks."
Next time on the Ren and Stimpy Prediction Marathon, we will talk about our top 10 changes for the show, and Natalie will possibly be buying the Ren and Stimpy documentary, Happy Happy Joy Joy, the Ren and Stimpy story, and making a reaction. Hopefully she'll ask her parents to buy it.
Well said, Futaba. Well said.
Well everyone, what do you think? If you liked the video, be sure to super smash that like button and comment below on your honest opinion. And remember, no trolls allowed. And anyway, before this video wraps up, let's get this video to 50 likes. And it's a great way of helping out this channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Pikachu and Sonic222 and my DeviantArt, which is the same as my username. And everyone, be sure to subscribe to this channel and share this with your friends. Please take care, and thank you guys and girls for watching me, Natalie the Lifelight. And I will see you all on the flip side. Bye!